You put a lot of faith in Burnet.
I mean, they got this much trail, they walk around. They told us that's what we did. They did. I mean, they walked the first day. Even pull them open. You need some coffee?
That would be a note for me. Note.
No, it was interesting. I got a mule license now.
I used to work in North Alabama and up in Central Tennessee. I think it's Columbus, Tennessee, or Columbia, Tennessee, and they have mule days there. And mules are the first 4 by 4 truck, and they would have pulling competitions, and then also parade competitions where they would dress them up and would have some pretty sports. Those animals are fine looking animals.
Yeah, I had a knothead. Mine wasn't, but
Did you?
made it more fun, really. But yeah.
I rode a mule down in Bandera. Did one of those cowpoke things.
Yeah.
Years ago. They gave me a mule, and I felt insulted, but he and I got along.
They're actually the best riding under the veteran horses.
Oh, heck, he was great. I don't think it's a mule with you there.
Yeah. Is this a live feed or is it?
It'll probably go on the web. It's on the web stream. I
Yeah,
guess,
yeah.
Sometimes. So, are you guys hot?
Yep.
Are you all straight in the back?
We are.
Okay, so it's hot.
Is anybody else? You know if anybody else is coming?
Sure.
Yes.
He's here.
One more? Okay.
They'll do an air monitoring.
Oh, yeah, we did. Yeah, we did. Drones and
Came out last night and back out today.
yeah,
And north of the fire that had it on it.
yeah. Okay.
Do you ever have the Daily Tribune?
You go there?
Anchors for Fox 7?
See you where he said. Gotcha.
We do a segment in Fox 7.
No, I just happened to make one.
For local news.
Okay. Yeah.
Are we ready? Is that a yes? All right. Thank you all for coming today. I'm Sheriff Calvin Boyd. We had an incident yesterday, approximately 3:58 p.m. We received a 911 call of a fire. It came in as a tire fire. It was at a tire disposal facility called Reliable Tire Disposal. As you can imagine, that creates some problems for the fire department. There's a mountain of tires out there, and when they catch on fire, that creates some problems for the fire department. We had a lot of assistance from other agencies, Burnet County Sheriff's Office out there, Burnet PD, Marble Falls PD, DPS as usual, and Bertram PD. Emergency management was out there. I can't tell you how many fire departments are out there. Multiple agencies are out there, and they did an awesome job. Very impressed with how all the fire departments worked together and did a good job. We had a couple of city workers from Burnet with some quick thinking that did some tractor work out there that made a bad situation much better. It would have been much worse without those guys, so I appreciate them for doing that. As you can imagine, with tires being on fire, there was a lot of smoke. The property borders Highway 29. The smoke was going over 29. This location is just just east of Burnet. A lot of traffic on 29. We had to, as a result of the smoke and the fear that the fire was going to jump 29, we had to close 29 for several hours. We also had to evacuate some folks. We were really concerned that the fire was going to jump 29, and kudos to the fire department for keeping it from doing that. So we evacuated people on both sides. About a 2.5 mile radius, I believe, is what we evacuated. We were able to let people return to their homes after about, I think, 3 hours or something like that, and they got the fire knocked down. It was very impressive. I think the fire department got this knocked down and contained much faster than any of us thought they would. I appreciate all the fire departments that came in. I can't even tell you how many agencies were there. The chief might be able to. It's kind of an everybody on deck in a situation like this. This kind of fire creates a lot of problems. We don't have a lot of industry in this area, but that was an industrial fire, and they handled it extremely well. Very impressed. It's being investigated by the fire marshal's office. Burnet County Sheriff's Office is assisting them with that, but it will be investigated by the fire marshal's office. Just like every fire, we investigate all of them. 29, as a result, 29 just north of Burnet, between Bertram, the eastbound outside lane will be shut down for several days. So we have fire departments have access in that area. Well, that's going to create some problems also. 4th of July weekend is coming up, and 29 carries a lot of traffic anyway, so it's going to create some problems for us. TxDOT is manning that and taking care of that. We're thinking maybe 3 days. That lane will be shut down. Hopefully it'll be quicker, but we're planning on 3 days. Do y'all have any questions?
Hey, Sheriff, talk a little bit about that fast work for the city workers. That you look at those things, these tire fires and big mountains and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Going out there today, what are your thoughts? Man, this could have been a lot worse than what it was.
It could have been a lot worse. As you saw if you went out there, it's kind of a mountain of tires, and they cut off the back side of that with tractors and moved those tires back. And had they not, those would have caught on fire also, and would have been much worse. They saved those guys a lot of work last night.
And we think that this was, as you said, it's not criminal. So you think that this might have been a machine that malfunctioned, an electrical short? What do we think happened out there?
Yeah, what we've been told is, it was a malfunction with one of the machines. Like I said, it's still being investigated, so I'm not sure where we are on that. But it does just look like an accident at this point. We investigate every fire like it's arson until it's not arson. So, but I don't think we suspect arson. Do we, Chief?
No, not yet. Chief, can I get you maybe switch spots with the sheriff real quick? I'm talking about.
This is Chief.
I've covered tire fires. I've covered.
This is Chief Mark Gingram.
Mulch fires, tire fires, coal fires. These are the stubborn guys. So how are you going to, it's tough to say we're just going to let it burn out. So how are we going to fight this thing? Because you can't flood it with water because that's an environmental problem.
Right. So like the sheriff said, what helped us tremendously yesterday was the city workers and those tractors that we did. We got them in there and we were able to separate a large portion of the tires. We were able to keep it inside of the fenced-in area, which at the beginning that was up in the air whether or not that was going to happen. What we did, we were able to get the buildings out, and everything in front of the building is out right now. We just have the big mound that is still on fire currently. It's about 60 feet wide by 300 feet, something like that. I don't know how tall that was. It was tall. So you're correct. We're trying to keep it cool and let it burn is what we're trying to do right now. We have a private contractor coming in the next 30 minutes. We're going to bring an excavator in and start trying to whittle away at the mound so we can, as he's pulling it out, we can cool it off and try to get it out. Otherwise, we're just going to have to let it burn, and it's going to be days.
Can you foam it?
We're trying. We've exhausted every bit of foam that we have. Every fire department around here, Horseshoe Bay came and brought us 80 5-gallon pails last night, which that helped a lot. And so we've exhausted every bit of the foam we have. The Forestry Service is en route right now to bring us some more. So yes, we're going to continue to put foam on it as we start.
You don't really want to flush it with water.
No.
Because that creates,
Yeah, we're trying to keep it all inside that fenced-in area. So it's
I got a question about air quality. Is that going to be you? Switch.
All right.
I drew upon it. Which name right, sir?
Derek Marcio, DEREKMARCHIO, Burnet County Office of Emergency Management.
What's the concern in regards to respiratory air quality? Is there still a danger, and what should people think?
So generally, well, last night, of course, we had Texas Commission on Environmental Quality come out and do some air sample monitoring, especially on the downwind of the fire. They were not able to get any readings on anything hazardous. However, we would like folks to exercise caution who especially live downwind of this, but just to pay attention. Make sure you keep your doors closed. If that smoke does start really coming over homes, make sure shut off your HVAC systems, and if needed, evacuate. But right now, we're not going to do any mandatory evacuations unless the situation becomes worse, whether winds change or whatever. But right now, we're not ordering any evacuations due to air quality. TCEQ is coming out again today. In fact, they should be out here in the next few hours to do some more air quality sampling and also check for any runoff issues.
Sheriff, I'm going to grill you a little bit more.
Okay.
Let's get back in regards to the work and the teamwork and the response. Pretty impressive.
Yes.
Was there a moment last night that you were really worried that thing was going to jump 29 and you had a bigger mess on your hands?
Absolutely. This was a big fire, and like I said, I'm very impressed with the way that they were able to contain that fire and knock it down as fast as they did. This could have been a lot worse. Had we jumped 29, we had a lot of homes and property over there that was.
In the hill country, we know all about mutual aid, and everyone comes together. This was a different kind of situation. It's not a wildfire, but a lot of mutual aid. What do you say to all these departments that just dropped everything and just got over here?
Yeah, just like I said before, I can't thank all of these departments for coming in. I wished I could name all of them, but I would surely miss some of them. I appreciate all the fire departments for coming and assisting us, all the police agencies came and assisted us, emergency management. This was an all hands on deck type situation, and it was handled extremely well. Very proud of everybody.
And can you go back and what you think? What do we think caused this thing? What happened? How did this thing happen?
Do you know?
well, of course, it's really
Still only going preliminaries.
it's really early. So
we think it was just a malfunction with one of the pieces of machinery out there. Is that
yes,
correct?
by the witnesses.
That's how
we
it's
haven't been able to get to the machine yet because it's at the base of the origin, so we can't get there yet. But
You mentioned that this isn't criminal right now.
no.
But if something with that machine, the negligence or something like that, could this change?
Oh, I'm sure it could always change. Yeah, that's like I said before. Even with arson, we always investigate a fire as if it's arson until it's not arson. If there's something malfunction with the machinery, that's out, that's probably out of our realm, but that is a possibility.
When do you think a final report may be issued?
Oh, gosh. With this thing still burning, it's gonna be, it's probably gonna be a couple of weeks before we even can finish, get a final report on it. If anything changes, we'll let you know.
Last question for me. Talking about the mutual aid, and at the height of this fight, give me an estimate, you may not have a hard number, but how many personnel did we have out there fighting this thing together?
Oh, gosh. I don't know. What do you, Alan, a couple hundred, maybe? You think there was that many?
Yeah, there was every fire department in Burnet County was there. Lano came, Lampasas, Travis County ESD1, Liberty Hill, air support from Starflight,
U.S. Fish and Wildlife.
yeah, Fish and Wildlife came. I mean, there was.
We had every bit of about 19 agencies represented yesterday.
The fire was, of course, right outside the city limits, so we were having to shuttle water into drop tanks. So that's the majority of what we were asking for, was them to send tenders so that we could get water.
Alan, Chief Deputy showed me the video, Starlight coming in and doing that, but how big of a moment was that? Was that the backbreaker on this thing?
No, I think the biggest was those city workers. That was incredible. If we wasn't able to get them there as fast as we were, that we did, it wouldn't be inside that fence, because it would have came all the way over to the edge and we wouldn't have been able to stop it. It's just too hot. The wind was blowing quite a bit. That made a big difference when we were able to cut enough of a fire break that we could keep it in that mound and the building. And then we had a bunch of ground monitors set up on that'd be the north side of the building, and we were cooling off all those 18-wheelers there, because we were afraid if once the 18-wheelers went, then it was going across the highway.
Can you identify those city workers?
I don't know who they were.
Yeah, they were from the street department. Dad Mercer is their supervisor, and he got them there. He stayed with me all night long.
I don't have names for you.
Yeah,
I know they're from the city.
I don't know the ones that were on the actual, but they can't even thank them enough. It was a difference maker. Now, Starflight, they were able to, they dropped water for an hour, something like that.
A little more than that, probably about 2 hours.
More than that, 2 hours? Yeah, I know they did enough, but we had to refuel them, so that was helpful. They were able to get low enough and drop just straight on it. I had my ladder set up, but there's a lot of power lines, so we had trouble with that, and the wind was just blowing it.
PEC?
Yeah, EEC showed up and shut all the power off down every side of it, because I had my ladder
Oh, yeah. I saw-
really close.
I saw a crew in the back residential area, were they just, re-energizing the lines?
Yeah, we finally last night at probably 11 o'clock, we were able to get power back. Yeah, so they were there also. City Electric was there, City Water, because we were getting all the water, so they turned everything up so that we could keep refilling all the tenders.
Party words, last words?
No, again,
You
it's,
mind?
no, go ahead.
You mind?
Oh, go for it.
Can anybody who was there sort of describe what it was like to be that close to the blaze? Just I wasn't there, and it might be of interest to know, like, how hot is it? The fumes, can you even get close to it?
Yeah, you definitely, no, the heat, when it's tires, the heat is indescribable. You can't get anywhere close to it, because that's why we set up so many ground monitors, so we didn't have to man them, and we could just trying to cool it down some. We weren't going to get it out, but trying to cool it down and keep it where it's inside that fence is what we were trying to do. I don't even know how high the flames were. Yeah, they were way up there.
Yep.
And we had to move vehicles because it was
Dakota, I know you've seen some videos online and everything, and as you know, videos never actually show how it really is. It was pretty, I hate to use the word impressive, but it was an impressive fire. You know, it was a big fire. So, anyway, I want to thank all the agencies for their assistance, and if you guys don't have any more questions, thank you for coming. I guess we're done.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Sheriff, for throwing this together. Appreciate it.
You bet.
Thanks. Everybody just stay right here.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, guys. I knew there was some questions.
Yeah. That's something about all that foam that you have to bring in.
I don't know, which
Yeah.
is yours? Oh, this is.
I've seen the, I've done a couple of tire fires, but multiple spots.